like you're doing this reading, you're giving it to the person, you're tuning into the person, you're allowing this to happen. Then you read. You just read. And it's like, okay, well, you can read one card many different ways. So really, basically, what you're allowing is the cards to reflect something, and you're reading according to your sense of it. And one, one or two words, and you're right in the middle of it, and you can just say, well, I see the whole thing. Because basically, a good reader has to be clairvoyant. You have to see. And you have to be telepathic, because you have to know what's really going on in their mind. You have to know even more deeply, like what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like precognition. I mean, these are like psychic faculties, like clairvoyance. You can see what's in their life. You can see, you can see the future. Telepathy is that you're basically able to communicate with their unconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know it, but you and in fact, it's all automatic. It's all spontaneous. And then to see the future is like precognition. The probabilities of the future happening are very strong unless the person decides to alter their course.
Which could happen too, especially if you're telling
Right.
them, well, this is not the way to go, this is not the right road.
If it looks like they're heading for trouble, then you can say, well, how can we avoid it?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do instead?
Well, that's one of the good things about divination is you can alter your course so that something will not happen as badly as it might.
Yeah. Or if it gets really, really, like, they're heading for really bad luck, then you may have to want to, if they're up to it, because I don't do anything for anyone that's not up to it. In fact, I don't do things for people anyway, unless I get the sense that this is for me to do.
Right.
But I can help them by, psychic means making things for them so that, teaching them how to use them so that they are bringing into their life a different energy, a different stream of.
You mean like a charm of some sort?
Yeah, magical works.
Uh-huh.
So that they can tune in on another road.
Right.
So they get out of this.
Out of the predicament they might be
they're
heading
getting out of their
for.
rut into the other road.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there was like, okay, here's an example story. A woman came to me very heartbroken. And she wanted me to help her. So I made her a talisman for Venus, which is love, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I told her, you have to come to me whenever you meet somebody, because it's going to attract people to you.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to get you married.
Wow.
You're going to be married within a year.
Wow.
You will. So, I mean, this is true. And so she came to me with one, and I said, no, he's not it. She came to with another one. I said, he's not it. She came to another one. I said, he's it. And she got married to him.
Oh, yeah? Have you heard anything more since then?
No, she was
okay?
She was tickled pink.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like very good.
Good.
I mean, I can go so far as to plan the day of the wedding also, so that that they stay together.
Oh, in other words, like somehow find the right date.
Yeah, astrologically, I can find the exact right day.
Because they do that with the let me see, we do Western astrology, right?
In Chinese, yes, you can do it.
Chinese is Eastern astrology,
Yeah.
and then there's another.
It's Vedic.
That's it.
Yeah.
Vedic.
Yeah.
Vedic. Because I had a guest years ago,
Yeah.
Don Wiederschein, and he did Vedic
Yeah.
things, and he said that they would be able to pick out what date would be best for a wedding
Right.
or a party or
Yes.
something that you were doing, that's major in your life, and they, to what date would be best
Yeah.
where you would have the best life after
Right.
that and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Western astrology does that extremely well.
Yeah.
One thing I did, I planned a wedding for some people. They went to Jerusalem to get married,
Really?
and I told them exactly the day and the hour.
Mm.
And the rabbi asked them, "Why did you choose this?"
Yeah.
He says it's absolutely the most perfect moment.
Really?
He says it's absolutely perfect. Because a lot of these rabbis also use astrology.
They do.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they said, well, they had an astrologer. He said, well, give him my compliments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they got together and they never went apart.
That's good.
you know.
Yeah.
So it was like a blessed event,
Yeah.
and this is the devil's work.
Yes. Okay. Now you've just disputed that, which is good. Which is good. Yeah, I never believed that was the case because I always felt, I mean, I've been doing this show now for going on 14 years.
Uh-huh.
And I really believe that there is something to everything, that whether it be cards or a pendulum or runes or whatever, that there is something to it. Because otherwise it wouldn't have been invented and lasted thousands of years.
The thing in this is you have to be tuned in to the source. You can if you mess with it and you bring all your doubts into it, you're going to just get yourself confused by it. If you are absolutely tuned to the source and you absolutely are willing to hear and see the truth, and just really give up, the answer will come down and it'll be the right one.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
This is how it has to happen. Reading astrology is a little bit easier because you're just reading mechanics. But these ways can cut through that.
I see.
You know, it cuts through because they're not regulated by time so much as they're telling you what something that's coming. You can bend time also if you're working magically. You can bend time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean time is like a current. You can cut it. You can foreshorten it. You can extend it. This is old science. This is extremely old science, and it comes from the ancient world, and we're fortunate that it still exists. It can be completely revitalized and revived, and it's there for the good of people.
Well, I'm sure it'll be around as long as man is around.
I think so. I think it is science. I really think it is.
Yeah, it could. I think it could be.
I mean, I'm learning about time by doing it. I'm learning time.
Yeah.
Time is not just clock time. Time is something that you can bend. You can make things happen.
Do you believe that that travel through time is possible?
Yes.
Going back or forward?
Yes, I don't know if it's like absolutely physical, but then we're talking about energy. But you can travel through time. It's called traveling in the spirit vision. So you can actually project through time.
Yeah.
And you can be seemingly physically there.
In other words, in divination, you can.
Not divination. This is a magical technique.
Oh, really?
I mean, if let's say you wanted to travel back several hundred years.
Okay.
You can.
Especially, can you, knowing about a past life, go back to kind of
to see it?
See it?
Yeah.
See what you were doing at a certain time.
Yeah.
And who you were.
If you want to do that, yeah. But I think that what I'm alluding to is you can go to other places and experience them. You can also you can travel to someone else's house.
Now, you mean
Right.
Astrally?
Yeah, that's what astral travel.
Astral travel.
Right. And
Right.
you can go into the future, and you can go into other dimensions. And this is very not difficult. You can get information that you were not able to get otherwise.
And how do you learn how to do this?
There's practices you have to do.
So in other words, there books that are written on it?
There's
and
some
all
good
that?
ones.
Yeah, there's some books that are.
Yeah, my favorite teacher in this is called Franz Barden.
Never heard of him.
Franz Barden was a German magician. He came from Czechoslovakia, from Prague.
Uh-huh.
He lived in Germany. He fought in the underground during the war.
Uh-huh.
The Nazis put him in prison.
Wow.
After the war, he went back to Czechoslovakia, and he taught there. But he wrote 3 books.
Well, while he was in prison, if he was able to do astral projection, then it wasn't really a big deal.
Well, it was very painful.
Well, I guess, yeah.
I mean, he was fighting against the Nazis.
Right, but he was able to get out of his cell anytime he wanted, right?
Sure, but your physical body is in prison.
He's still in
all right?
prison,
I mean,
that's
they're,
true.
they're starving you to death.
Oh, wow. Well, no, I didn't realize that. Yeah.
You know, there were other German magicians during the time that were thrown in concentration camps because they didn't want to cooperate with the Nazis. You know, so
Okay.
even though they had all these powers, they were fighting a magical war against them. But you know,
Why couldn't
Any-
they use these powers to, to straighten
Because-
out the problem?
because it was a war against the powers of darkness. And when you're fighting with the powers of darkness, you have to allow the powers of darkness to reach their peak before they get destroyed.
Really? Huh,
Apparently.
yeah.
So, but Barden definitely is like my favorite teacher in this because his methods are just right. They just work, but it's very hard work to do it. To master it, it's like, technique.
So you have mastered it?
I've been working with them for years,
Yeah, okay.
and I have breakthroughs that are just like, you just can't believe what happens.
Can you give an example?
Well, you can see things. You can travel into other dimensions.
Right.
You can call forth intelligences from other dimensions that come and talk to you, and will tell you information. So I mean, what is the diviner is sort of like a very small part of all of this. But if you have that vast access, it will bear on this, so that what you are seeing and telling people is all the clearer and all the more useful to them.
Yeah.
They may not like it,
Well,
but that's truth is what you have to ascertain.
Well, if they don't like it, they can always do something to change it because they're that much ahead of it.
If they're up for that.
Yeah.
Some people aren't, and they don't want to because
Or
they're
some people
obsessed with what
don't
they're.
want it to be that way.
Uh-huh.
They don't want it to. Whatever the truth is, they're saying they're in denial.
Exactly. So you reach a certain point that you may reach a wall, and you're not supposed to go past it, because sometimes people have to be in their stuck place as long as they need to be in that stuck place in order for them to learn.
Exactly.
You can't suddenly clear up the world,
Right.
because we're all here to learn our lessons. And so you might know a lot, but if you're going to go back into difficult experiences, you're going to go through them. You have to go through them. So, you can point a lot of things out, but if they're not ready to change, they're not going to.
Well, we're all here to learn, so I guess we have to learn the lessons that we were put here to learn, no matter what.
It seems. It really seems so. But so, being a diviner is not like I'm on a mission to save the world, because I'm not. I'm really not. I mean, I'm here.
Oh, well, nobody could really single-handedly save the world.
No, I'm here to do what I do. I love doing this. I can't save people. They have to want to work.
Right. They have to.
And sometimes they have to go through their own hell in order to come through. You understand? I mean, the way out is the way through.
Dark night of the soul.
Yeah, you got to go through.
Yeah.
So if I help them, I'm helping them. Or I'm telling them where things are going.
Well, of course, we all have to be instrumental in our own lives. We can't just depend on other people to just tell us things that are going to happen and sit around and wait for it.
No.
And we have to be proactive.
But I've done stuff with these to help people build careers. I've had a few people that I've helped to build a career.
Well, that's wonderful.
Like when to make this move, what move to make.
Right.
Do this, don't do that. This is good, this is very good. Then up and up and up they go.
Right.
So they have this nice career. They're making all this money and everything is just grand. So I've done this a few times.
Oh, that's great.
So I'm very good at that kind of guiding.
Yeah, right. That's good.
Yeah. So it is rewarding, It's very rewarding.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I mean, as I said before, I just dabbled in the cards, mostly with the Rider deck, which is the deck that most people start with. And I got a lot of satisfaction out of people walking away being a little bit more enlightened about how things are in their lives than they
Yeah.
were before.
Yeah. There are times where the reading would tell the person a specific day that something is going to happen that they should look at, and it does.
Like, in other words, on this particular day, don't leave the house because something big is going to fall on you.
Or, well, like, for example, there was this woman that came to me desperate. Her boyfriend left, and I said, he's coming back on Tuesday.
Huh.
But you should really be careful. It's not good. And she was so overjoyed that he was coming back on Tuesday. He came back on Tuesday, the following week on Tuesday, and they had a terrible fight.
Yeah, I mean, that
Terrible fight.
coming back on Tuesday didn't mean that it was good news.
Yeah, I mean, he came back exactly when I said, and I also told her to be careful, this is not good, but she didn't listen. He came back, and they had a major fight.
And then they split for good or what?
Well, she got beat up.
Oh, no, that's a major fight.
It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. You know, it's like, you know,
Oh, wow, that's terrible.
it really big time terrible.
She wound up in the hospital or something?
No, but she was all black and blue.
Oh, boy. I guess she
You know,
found
I
out
mean, he
that...
should have gone to hell that day. So, you know, I mean, this is terrible, these things. But, you know, if there's a real, you know, it's something really important that they shouldn't hear about, it gets to be as sharp as a pin. You know, like this, then this is good or this is not good. This is your chance or this is something to avoid.
Right.
You know, so this is I really like doing this work.
Did you ever see, like, the day a person was going to die? Did you ever, I mean, not that you'll tell them because they don't
No,
think that...
you know what? Chinese astrology can tell a person when they're going to die.
Really?
Yeah, it'll tell them, but it can also save their life.
Really?
Yeah, there was a woman that, when I was studying with my teacher, there was a woman that had diabetes, and we did her chart. And she's also obese. And he told me to tell her that this, you know, he said this summer and next summer, she's in danger of losing her life, and tell her to go to a very cold place.
Cold place?
Yeah, she needs to go to a cold place where, you know, the weather's cold.
Yeah.
Both summers.
During both summers, she was
Yes,
supposed
for
to go...
2 summers she had to go up to a cold place. I told her, you know, I just
Did
told
she
her.
go?
Yeah, she went up to Maine. She said that she felt absolutely chaotic and her energy was like just completely out of control. And she felt that she was going to die, but she didn't, and she survived it. And she lived at least 10 years more.
Oh, and she's no longer with us?
No, she passed away a few years ago, not a long time ago. But she lived much longer, and
she would have otherwise.
she would have died way back then.
Now, why are cold places? Does that have to do? Does
Because
that
in
have
the
something to do with the diabetes, or?
Well, in her chart, the killing elements were fire. Was fire, and summer's fire seasons.
Right.
And she needed to be where it's cold, like water.
Ah.
You know, a water climate.
Right.
So she went up to Maine.
I guess that
It's
was as good a
cold.
place as any.
Well, you know, it doesn't get hot there.
No, it doesn't get real hot, and then in the summer it doesn't get bitter cold either.
Nighttime gets cold though.
Nighttime, yeah. Same thing out in California.
Yeah.
Nighttime gets very cold.
But if you're suffering from too much fire, which can really really cause the diabetes to get out of hand, then you need the opposite. But you wouldn't be able to see these things if you didn't have these instruments.
If you didn't have people that had a gift and were talented. One last thing, you have a little box there.
Okay,
Tell
yeah.
us about what's in that little box.
These are coins. This is for the I Ching.
I Ching. What's I Ching?
The I Ching is the Book of Changes. It's an old Chinese book. It's like 5,000 years old.
Uh-huh.
You can use these to cast hexagrams, which are 6-line figures, and they will make a hexagram in each of the lines of each of the 6 lines of each of the hexagrams. There are 64 hexagrams that are possible.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the lines is an astrological signature, a Chinese astrological signature.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like like what are they? The rat, the ox, the tiger, the rabbit, the dragon, the snake, the horse.
Yeah, all of
blah,
those
blah.
Chinese.
Okay, yeah, Okay, so you find out what line represents the person and their interest, and then you find out what is the sign of the day and the month that you're asking the question. You compare the elements of the lines of the person against the elements of the day and month that you're asking your question, and it'll give you your answer, whether positive or negative, or some detail that they need to find out about.
And that has to do with these coins?
Yeah, the coins are what you use to determine the hexagram.
Are you going to hold one up for the camera there?
I don't know. Can you see anything?
Well, all we can see is it's a coin and it has a square hole in it.
Ah, all right. Here.
There it is. Okay, now you have 3 of them.
I
So
have
what do
three.
you do with them?
You do this and you drop them.
Wow, look, that one's still spinning. Oh.
Okay, so here we go. So this is like 3 yang lines. So it's called an old yang. It means it's like changing yang. So all right. Maybe you can draw one. Is that possible? Do we have enough time?
We have a few minutes.
A few minutes. Okay. Okay. You want to draw one? You draw one. It was yang. It was a changing yang on the bottom. All right. Got a pencil? Okay. Changing yang.
So now you ask a question.
Yeah. What's their
and-
question? You want to find out?
All right, let's ask the coins now about
The weather.
the weather. Okay, fine. That's
Okay.
as good a
The
subject
second
as
line
any.
is a yang line not changing. All right. The third line is a yin line. So we got tui, right. The fourth line is changing yin. Okay, the fifth line is yang. And the sixth line is yin. Okay? So what you got? Give me. All right. Can I have the pen? Thank you. All right. This is it. Okay. So we have the 60th hexagram. This is the hexagram of limitations. Okay, and then, okay, this one is water. And the first line is the one we have to look at. And the first line is snake, and it changes into tiger. Snake and tiger are clashing, and then the upper changing line was the monkey, changes to pig. This is very full of trouble.
Trouble?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so now today's date is what?
June 14th,
June 14th. Okay. June 14th.
2013.
6:14. Oh, look at that. All right. Okay, it's the day of the metal pig. And we're in the month of the horse.
Each month has a different animal too?
Yes. This is the month of Earth Horse. Next month is the Earth Sheep. The month after that is the Metal Monkey, and so on. So these months are lunations. They're not January, February, March. These are from the new moon to the next new moon.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So what is these coins telling us about the coming
The
weather?
situation is altogether turbulent, and in the nearer future, within the next 3 months, is going to be a lot of turbulence.
So you're still saying that
A lot of
June,
turbulence.
July, and
A lot.
August should be pretty much okay?
No. It's like the earlier time is turbulent. Lots of storms.
Lots of snow. I mean,
Lots of
we
storms.
had a lot of rain.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot more.
We're gonna have a lot
A
more.
lot more. It's gonna be windy, rainy, lightning, blah blah.
Cooler than normal. Then I mean, you said
No, it's
before
gonna
we're
get hot.
It's gonna get hot, but with all of this rain and everything, it seems to cool things down.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just see.
I mean, I know it's June 14th, and this morning it was 58 degrees out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just odd for June.
Yeah. It's just very turbulent.
Yeah,
It's major turbulence.
major turbulence, but
Oh,
not as major as Sandy, correct?
I don't get that.
You don't get that?
I don't get that that's gonna happen.
Oh, good.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you said that before too.
But this is very interesting. It's going to get very hot.
All right. Well, it's going to get very
It's
hot.
later on. It's going to get very hot.
All right. Well, we expect it to be hot, and in the meantime, I want to say thank you for coming on. It's been very interesting what you've had to
Thank you.
tell
Yeah,
us about here,
this is good.
and and I hope that everyone has enjoyed the show and learned something
So
from it.
too. Yeah.
And you know, and as I said, thank you for coming on, and
Thank
I do
you.
appreciate your knowledge
Thank you.
and your willingness to give us this information.
My
so,
pleasure.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you for having me.
It was my pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
So, anyway, everyone, take care now and have a good night.